व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति न सार्क्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Okay, any questions, clarifications on what we saw last time? Satyena labhya, etc. I think that was pretty clear. I don't think anyone will have any doubts on that. And we also saw the verse after that. Now, after that, after these two verses, he is straight coming back to the self, back to the topic of the self. He says, a way of presenting it, okay? Brihascha tad divyam achintya roopam sukshma cha tad sukshmataram vibhati durad dure tadhya antike cha pashyati saeva nihitam guhayam. Brihatcha, Brihat, okay, Dhatu meaning bigness. Brihat, how big? Nothing to specify how big. Absolutely nothing to specify how big. Just big, the big, limitless. We have seen that the word for Brahman, etc., etc., all that we have seen. Tad divyam. Divyam meaning Chaitanya Swarupam. Divyam here is used in the sense of Chaitanyam. Chaitanya Swarupam. And Achintya Rupam. Doesn't have a form for you to think about it. The people try. Limitless. They'll think of something like space. Space looks limitless in the physical dimension, that's all. Okay. Achintya Rupam, that which is not an object of a thought. Not an object of a thought. Okay. Sukshmacha jat sukshmataram vibhati. Vibhati, but how? It exists, it is known. Sukshmat sukshmataram. That whatever the small thing you can think of, it is smaller than that. Previously I had said in the first line, that which is the big. Now he is saying sukshmat sukshmataram. That means really speaking what? The idea of big and small is not applicable. That which is free from the idea of big and small. Only limitlessness can be that. In some other Upanishad it is presented as Mahato Mahiyan Anoho Aniyan. Smaller than the smallest thing you can think of, and bigger than the biggest. If it has to be sukshmat sukshmataram, smaller than the smallest, then it should be formless, really speaking. Because if you have a dimension, then it will become smaller than that. Okay, smaller dimensions, smaller than that. Which should be the smallest? Which has got no dimensions. Because any dimension, you can make something smaller, at least conceptualize something smaller. So this is smaller than that. That means no form, no boundaries. Then naturally it will become Mahato Mahiyan, bigger than the biggest. Brihacha, what he said.
Swamiji,
Yeah?
anything in time and space would have dimension, and this is beyond time and
Yeah.
space.
It is not conditioned. In other words, when you say limitless, it means not conditioned by time and space. Because time and space is what conditions in terms of size. Space specially. So, if you are presenting it as something which is spaceless, timeless. Now, what do you mean spaceless, timeless? Okay. Again, don't try to conceive, because all conception is within time and space. You have to understand it like this. When time space is there, I am there. When time space is dismissed, I am still there. Experientially, you do it in deep sleep, samadhi, etc., meditation, etc. Yeah. Some sort of experiential glimpse, okay? You don't really need it, but okay. Therefore, sukshma, sukshmataram and brihacha tad divyam achintya rupam. Therefore, the word divyam is deliberately used. Why? Because not to take it as an inert object, like space and time. Chaitanya Swarupam. But Chaitanya is not an object. Why? Not conditioned by time and space. So, can you see, it is not just piling up of adjectives here. The Upanishad is not using adjectives. It is using one word to negate any limitations of the previous word. This is going on. You are knocking off the limitations of any word that is there. You use a word, knock off its limitation. Brihacha, oh, something vast. Something, no, Divyam Chaitanya Swarupam, you. When you say Divyam, you come into the picture. Chaitanya Swarupam. Then, at the same time, you will try to conceptualize. Natural, the human mind, anything that you learn by conceptualization. Therefore, to negate that, achintya rupam, not an object of your thought. All right, it's very huge, not an object of my thought, it is Chaitanya Swarupam. Then what? Sukshmat Sukshmataram. Don't think it is just something huge. It is tinier than the tiniest thing. That means what? It pervades everything. If you use these words together, then naturally it is in and through everything else, like space. In and through everything. Sukshmat Sukshmataram. Tad vibhati, it shines like that, it exists like that. Then durat sudure, durat sudure. Is farther than the farthest. In terms of space, no. Farther than the farthest. Yeah. In fact, things like near and far is not applicable. Why? Iha antikecha. It is farther than the farthest and closer than the closest. There can be only one thing like that, I. And I has to be limitless for that. Otherwise, farther than the farthest is not possible. Yeah. And Saha tu pashyati iheva. All right, you are giving all these descriptions. How am I ever going to know? Iheva pashyati. How? Nihitam guhayam. Nihitam guhayam. that which exists in the cave of my heart, meaning at the core of my personality, that which exists as I. Guhayam nihitam buddhi guhayam or hridaya guhayam. Either way you can use this word, it doesn't matter, it means the same thing. As the very core of what you are. Meaning that guha is nothing but your idea of yourself. What is the content of that idea? Achintya rupam, tadivyam. He is indicating upalabdhisthanam. Upalabdhisthanam. Where are you going to recognize it? Upalabdhi meaning where are you going to recognize? Brahman is everywhere. Can I recognize it here? You can't. You can recognize it only as the I. Because there is no way you can recognize Brahman as other than the I. Why? Because it's not a concept of a thought. It's not an object. It's not something conceivable. It is not something conceivable. Yeah. It's the very core of the I. And that's the beauty of it. Everything we know by objectifying, by building a subject-object relationship. The only thing in the world you know without that subject-object relationship is yourself. I know I am. How? Do you have a subject-object relationship with yourself to say I am? If there was a subject-object relationship to say I am, then you would need a pramana for it. I am. But you know I am without a pramana. You don't need any means of knowledge to know I am, I exist. And if you are going to use a pramana to know I am exist, you will end up with ridiculous ideas. Why? Because to use a pramana, you have to be there before. Therefore, this I is known by using a pramana. Then there has to be another I to use a pramana to know this I. Then that I, is it independent or dependent on a pramana? You go on add regress. That means what? That means you opened your eyes as a child and saw your mother's face and it is still clicking inside. But that is not true. There is a finality of knowledge. You see a book, yeah, a book. Finality. Why? Because you exist before any pramana can be used. Not only you exist, you know that I am there. Swata siddham, self-effulgent, etc. These are the words used to indicate that. So, nihitam guhayam. Then why do I need the Shastra? Because I don't know what I am. I know that I am, I don't know what I am. So, the whole learning is only in terms of what I am. And since look at it, the self-evident I is known without subject-object relationship. Anything that you know about that self-effulgent I also has to be known without subject-object relationship. Because the moment say, I am like this, like this, like this, there is subject-object. That's what we call ahankara. Any notion that you have about yourself. And we all have notions about ourselves. This notional self is what we call ahankara. There is no ahankara other than the notion about yourself. Yeah. Ahankara is a concept of what you are. Because you are trying to objectify and find a concept. I am like this only. What to do, I am like this only on top of it. So, all these are conceptual. But since it is nihitam guhayam, since I know I am, I exist, all that is talked about is revealing what I am. Durastha, Antikecha, Brihacha, limitless. Why? We are talking of consciousness that objectifies time and space, therefore limitless. What? Me, I, not Brahman somewhere. I am limitless. I am smaller than the smallest. That means I pervade everything. That means what? All forms depend upon me. I am independent of everything. There's a natural corollary that follows. Okay, pashyati sa eva nihetam guhayam. Okay. Simple, itna hi baat hai. If you understand this, everything is understood. Yeah. Really, if you really get it, what do you have to do? Just go and have a cup of coffee or yeah, because it's clear. So, all the Upanishads are only trying to make this clear. What is that? I am, I exist. And that self-existent, self-known I is limitless, pervades everything. Ideas of time and space don't exist. Ideas of time and space are dependent on me. I am not dependent on time and space. It's important to see this because all your idea of time is subjective, which you are trying to correlate to objective things. Even if you are going by scientific definitions of time, what is time? Gap between two events. Scientific definition. And two events. When you are living in an agrarian society, sunrise and sunset was good enough for two events. Agrarian society. Yeah. Like you even now go to the villages, most people wear a watch and things like that, or they'll carry a phone with the. You ask them, "Kadi yenar?" "Sakali yeto na mi." They will say, "Ami 8 vajta pahunchto. We are coming there at 8 o'clock because we have to do a bhumi pujan. 8 vajta." Okay. But 8 o'clock is very subjective. You reach there at 8 o'clock, they may already have been there. Sahab, we are waiting for you. Or they land up half an hour after you are there. Because there is agrarian society, does it really matter whether you start plowing the field at 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8:30? Doesn't matter. Yeah. But as we started, more urbanization, etc., the idea of time also had to go like that. Yeah. So we needed more and more precise measurements. So the two events finally became two pulses of a quartz. One pulse, second pulse. No event without an observer. So what you call as event is nothing but a thought in the observer's mind. So when you are looking at yourself through one thought, second thought, you get an idea of time. So gap between events is nothing but gap between your thoughts. So when you look at yourself through these thoughts, you get an idea of time. Therefore, time is dependent on you and the thoughts. You are independent of it. Thoughts may be dependent on time to an extent, but you are not. Same thing with space as well. Therefore, ideas of time and space gone. What is there? You, the pure consciousness. बस इतना ही बात है. Anya vancha vimunchate, somewhere else Upanishad says that. You give up all other talk. और क्या बकवास करना है? इतना ही तो है. What else is there? That's all that is there. Yeah. That's all that is there to be known. और कुछ है ही नहीं है. Nothing else. तो और कुछ नहीं है तो बुक बंद कर लो. Okay. After having said this much, he throws some more light on it, some more light on it. What is that? Okay. Some more light. Says, no more light, clarifying certain things, okay? Clarifying. Na chakshusha grihyate napi vacha, na enat etat tapasa karmana va, jnana prasadena vishuddha sattva, tattasu tam pashyate nishkalam dhyayamanaha. Very nice. Na chakshusha grihyate. You cannot see it by your eyes, he says. आत्मा किधर है? धुन के निकल जाएगा. I will turn my eyes within and see. ढूंढते रह जाएंगे. Yeah. नापि चक्षुषा लभते, नापि वाचा. A lot of talks you have heard. Yeah, most people talk about the Atma. We are talking about revealing the Atma, therefore not vachaha. Descriptive talks will not give it to you. Shankara says, if you listen to an ounce asampradaya with, you will not gain it. If you listen to somebody who is not a sampradaya with, meaning one who knows how to teach, in other words. What do you mean how to teach? Simple. Through finite words reveal the truth. Like how we saw in the last verse. Finite words, you are coming to know the truth. So if you can't learn to do that, if you don't know how to do that, you are not going to understand the truth. Listening to a sampradaya with, many people don't get it. Then what about if you are listening to an asampradaya with? Bahuduram. You know why? Why Shankara says all that? Because we tend to keep on categorizing. Atma is like this, Anatma is like this. Bas, khatam udari. Or we make a diagrammatic presentation. Panchakoshas, 5 circles. Gone. Finished. Forget the understanding after that. Or here is your body, mind, etc. Beyond that is Atma. Gone. All these are conceptualizations. Whereas what did he say? It is here, it is there, it is everywhere. It is beyond everything, it is right here. It is bigger than everything, it is smaller than everything. So what is he doing? Knocking off all conceptualizations. So what are you talking about? I, nihitam guhaya. Not some other object. Not the reality. Brahman, the reality. मेरे को छोड़ के. No. It has to be me. Can't be apart from me. So, all that. Napi vachaha. Nat etadeva tapasa karmana va. I'm a tapasvi. I'll do a lot of tapas and come to know the truth. There's a great teacher who says that get up at Brahma Muhurta and meditate. Getting up at Brahma Muhurta and meditating is good if you can do it. I'm not saying no to that. Do a lot of tapas. People ask me, how are you so fit? A lot of tapas. हाँ बराबर है. 1 घंटा प्राणायाम करो, फिर देखो क्या फिटनेस आ जाता है. Don't try it in this heat. Huh? Don't try it in this heat. Unless you are living somewhere in the Himalayas or in the Arctic, near the Arctic Circle or something like that. Then it is okay, not otherwise. So, tapas will give you all that, but not the Atma. Tapas can give you a strong mind. Good, udna to theek hai, but not knowledge of the Atma. Na karmana va. I'll get it by all the karmas I am doing. Sacred and secular both. Sacred and worldly. Laukikam. Karma is not karma phalam. Karma phalam is always finite. Whether that karma is laukika karma or vaidika karma or manasam karma like meditation etc. The result is always finite. Why? Karma is done under given time and place. The result will also come to you in time and place. Therefore, na karmana. Then, jnana prasadena vishuddha sattvaha. Jnana prasadat. By the teaching. Okay, jnana prasadat. Can also mean, okay, you can take it in many ways. The best way to take it is by the teaching. Whoever gives you jnanam, whoever unfolds the truth to you, jnana prasada. Or by your intellect being ready to receive the teaching. By your intellect being ready to receive the teaching. Sas tatastu tam pashyati nishkalam dhyayamana. Therefore, nishkalam dhyayamana. If you are a regular meditator, etc., what you will have? Jnana prasadam. Your mind will be calm, peaceful, contemplative. That's what meditation is useful for. In that contemplative mind, you will know the truth when the truth is revealed to you. But because of verses like this, people think, in meditation I will get it. Yeah. Not understanding these verses, they will say, in meditation you will get it. I remember when I was very young, Swami Chinmayanji was in town and I was sitting in, actually satsang, we will go and sit in front of Swami Chinmayanji. And as usual, his habit, any questions? None of us had questions, abhi kya bolega? So, says, what? You are coming to me without any questions? What is this? That was Swami Chinmayanji. You are expected to go to him with questions, not without questions. So, someone who has been a study group sevak for 20, 25 years, told them, Swamiji, I have been meditating for the last 20 years. Nothing is happening. Swamiji looked at him and says, nothing will happen. What do you expect to happen? And he laughed. So it is very crystal clear to me, though I was a youngster that time, very young. I think I had not yet joined the ashram. I was going to join that year, but I had not yet joined. Very clear. Naturally, you sit down and meditate, what will happen? Nothing will happen. I know I had tried that. For a year, I had tried. Early morning, getting up at 4:30 and meditating. Sometimes going into samadhi. Kuch nahi hota hai. Then I listened to Puja Swamiji again. I understood, hell, I've been an idiot. This is not how it will work. But it gave me a mind that could understand things fast. Gave me a mind. That's all it can do. And that's a big thing. Don't dismiss it as something small. Okay? Having a mind, a quicksilver mind, is strange. How do you know your meditation is that you are really contemplating? Very interesting, you know. I'm digressing a bit from here, but it is interesting. You meditate, you slow down your mind, you quieten your mind. अच्छा हो गया. Not really. If your mind has become slow, your mind has become tamasic. Really? A slow mind is a tamasic mind. What have you done with meditation? Made your mind dull. You're dull in your mind. That is not meditation. Well, you are supposed to become more sattvic in meditation. So by dulling your mind, how are you saying you are becoming sattvic? You are becoming more tamasic. So you know meditation is right if your mind can move like quicksilver. Jump here, there, fine. At the same time be calm and peaceful. Move fast but be calm. Paradoxical. Yeah. I didn't invent the mind. I am only explaining it. What can it do? My mind is like my girlfriend. Paradoxical. It's the right of the mind to be paradoxical. Or kya? If your mind can move like quicksilver and still be calm and peaceful, then you know your contemplation is working. If your mind can leap ahead with the words and grasp the idea, be careful. In the name of grasping an idea, you may be jumping to conclusions. That is rajasic, that's not sattvic. Yeah, that's a rajasic, jumping to conclusions. That is not sattvic. So how do you prevent the mind from becoming tamasic, at the same time become sattvic by contemplation? Give it both types of activities. Activities which has to think and act fast, and activities which has to be quiet and contemplative. Combine them together. If the mind can hold the dichotomy together, you are home safe. You have got it. That means what? To feel calm and peaceful when you are doing a lot of things, not letting it stress you out. Not letting it stress you out. So where is the foundation laid for this? Foundation is laid in Karma Yoga. The foundation for this mind is laid in Karma Yoga. Where you are doing a lot of things, but you are trying to, but that worry, anxiety, etc. is knocked off. Mind is quieter. Then by being very deliberate and conscious in all your activities, being very awareful in what you are doing. Then next step, shifting to be more centered when you are doing everything. Not being knocked off, not letting your thoughts and feelings knock you off. That means when you are hit with a problem, let your mind straight away go into solution oriented thinking, not get stuck with the problem. This is all Jnana Prasadam. How else am I going to present Jnana Prasadam? I mean, I can present. When Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Sampatti, etc. is there, Jnana Prasadam is there. You will mechanically repeat it. Why, both sunai? I understand. What? I mean, am I making sense to you guys? और क्या सुनने को अच्छा लगता है? This is what you need to work on. This is what you need to work on. This is why involvement in life is necessary. So when problems hit you, you are not thrown off. You are okay. Things can go in 6s and 7s, but you are okay. Yeah, you are okay. That's important. When things go wrong, I am okay. How is everything in life? Miserable. How are you? Fine. There are a couple of people here who have learned to say that. Yeah, I'm glad to see that. Yeah. So that type of a mind, that is jnana prasada. Okay, plus that your mind is really into that. Yeah. Okay. One another way of doing with this is, on one side do a lot of contemplation, meditations. Meditation, no meditation. On the other side, do a lot of pranayamas. Bring the calmness of the meditation into your pranayamas and do it. Swamiji, when I do Anulom Vilom, I'm very calm. No. Do Kapalabhati and feel that calmness. Do all the bandhas. We are tightening up everything. Your whole perineum, etc., the sternum, diaphragm, everything tighten up. And then we calm. Like how you are in meditation. When your breath is to bursting point, calm. When your breath is emptied out until there is nothing more to be emptied, calm. What do you experience in meditation? You bring that here. When you experience meditation, you bring that here. Then you will find you are getting a bit of this, the easy way. Okay? Yeah. Then you will get that. Then you will easily get that. Okay. Okay. Then he is giving you an idea of this. Okay. एषः अनुरात्मा चेतसा वेदितव्यः यस्मिन् प्राणः पंचधा संविवेशः प्राणैश्च चित्तं सर्वमोतं प्रजानानां यस्मिन् विशुद्धे विभाति एष आत्मा. So in that purified mind, he says, when the teaching happens, Vishuddhe Vibhati Eshatmaha Vibhati. What Atma? Eshaha Anuratmaha Chetasa Vedatavya. Can you all hear and see me? Someone please respond, yes or no? You can't see, you can only hear? Question is simple, can you hear and see? Will one person respond? Okay, you can't see, all right, okay. Okay, this should be fine now. That should be fine, right? Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So he says, Esha Anumatma Chetasa Veditavyaha. This subtle Atma, Sukshmataram Atma. Chetasa Veditavyaha. Don't even dream of transcending your mind business. Okay? Don't dream of that also. Chetasa Veditavyaha. By your mind alone it has to be known. That which is beyond the mind is to be known by the mind alone. Manasa eva anudrashtavyam yat manaha na manute. By the mind alone it has to be known that which is not an object of your mind. Chetasa veditavyam. How will you veditavyam? He gives you this thing to start. Yasmin pranaha panchada samviveshaha. Now all your prana functioning, digestion, breathing, etc., etc., all that is imposed on the Atma. Pranaihi chittam, your mind. Don't you have to negate the mind to know the Atma? No. In the mind is sentient because of the Atma. Sarvam otam prajanam. Therefore, where is the Atma? In every thought there is consciousness. The fact that I am breathing, etc., because of consciousness. My body is sentient because of consciousness. Therefore, the body, the prana, the mind, etc., all are dependent on the consciousness. I, the consciousness, is independent of everything. Is your mind sentient? Yes. Why? Because I, the consciousness, is sentient. Body is sentient? Yes. Why? Because there is a mind, there is a prana associated with it. But prana is only energy. Energy is not sentient by itself. It's sentient because of the mind. And the mind is sentient because it's based on me, the consciousness. Therefore, the whole thing is based on me, the consciousness. I am independent of the consciousness, of the body, mind, etc. That means talking, walking, everything that you are doing. The fact is your consciousness. Body is walking, talking, etc. Mind is thinking, etc. Prana is functioning. And what are you? That consciousness, that's objectifying everything as it is happening. You are hearing me now, right? It's a function of the mind and the prana, because your ear will not function without the prana and your mind. And at this moment, what are you? The consciousness. You don't have to negate anything. Negation is seeing that it is all dependent reality. It's all dependent on the Atma. Atma is independent. All this is dependent. Atma is independent reality. All these are dependent on the Atma. That is why the insentient mind becomes sentient. The insentient prana becomes sentient. The insentient body becomes sentient. Why? Because they are all based on I, the consciousness. But Swamiji, shouldn't be the consciousness based in the body instead of the body being based on the consciousness? I mean, it looks more logical, no? Atma is inside. Because we have this idea Atma is inside. Atma is not inside the body. Body is in the Atma. Consciousness is limitlessness. Remember previous verse. The consciousness is limitless. If it is limitless, Duracha Antikecha. It's farther than the farthest. Sun, very far from here. Farther than that. Andromeda galaxy, 4 million light years. Farther than that. So if it's limitless, how can it be trapped inside this body? It feels like that. It feels like that because it is manifest in the body and you have a sense of I, and that experiential I, if you're a thinker, it will be more here, or for most human beings, because we are became feelers before we became thinkers. I. Hridaya Guhayam. Where do you feel when you say I? No, I. When you say I, me, and I ask you to tap your body where you feel I or me, very few will tap the head. I. Hridaya Guhayam, you will say. Hridaya Guhayam. Because the feeling is right there, I. The feeling of I. Therefore, you are not inside the body. The body is inside you. Mind is inside you. You are both inside and outside the body. Let me put it that way. It will be easier to understand. Like space that is there inside the room and outside the room, both. Similarly, you, the consciousness, is inside the body, outside the body. For functioning, you function with the body. Therefore, you seem to be inside the body. Because all functioning with your body is done with your body and mind. Therefore, it seems that you are driving the body by sitting inside the body. But really speaking, body is inside the Atma. The other way around. The other way around. Yeah. It looks other way around. Yeah, it looks that way. What can I do if it looks like that? That's what we call it, adhyasa, mithya, etc. Yeah, that's why we call it all that. No? It's adhyasa, it's mithya, it's not real. It's only conceptualization. All that is true. It's only conceptualization. Experiential. I feel like that. You want to reduce Atma to a feeling? Come on. इतना ही बात है और कुछ नहीं है. Eshatma. Then there is an Arthavada here. The last verse of this section is an Arthavada. It's an exaggeration highlighting some things. Okay. Yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati vishuddha sattvaha kamyate yamsha kaman tam tam lokam jayate tamsha kaman tasmat atmajnam hi archayet bhuti kamaha. Okay. He is addressing the common man. Because you look at it. Vedanta will be understood only by an adhikari. There is no two ways about that. Okay? To understand Vedanta, you need Viveka, Vairagya, all that thing you need. Your mind should be ready, contemplative mind, Jnana Prasadam should be there. All that is a fact. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand or own it up, make a fact of your life. So, you need to work on the mind. Having said that, Vedanta is also not elitist. Anyone can walk in and sit in a Vedanta class. We are not elitist. If someone who is just attending my Gita class, learning the Gita, says, Swamiji, I want to hear your Brahma Sutra lectures, I'll say, wait. It is there on my website, but it's password protected. Why? Because I don't want you to be confused. So there I will say, wait. There I will say, wait. Why? Because I don't want you to be confused. Not because it's elitist. If I was taking a live class and they are coming, I will be okay because I will know where the confusion is and I can knock it off. But it's not elitist. Therefore, anyone and everyone can sit in. So the teacher here in the Mundaka is accommodating the common man who may not have understood almost anything. Just a vague idea he must have got. Because traditional teaching is such that even if you are not ready, you will get some idea about it. Okay? Yeah, some insights you will gain. That's the strength of the traditional teaching. Therefore, he says, Yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati. Yeah. Whatever your mind can think of, lokam, those experiences, manasa samvibhati. Vishuddha Sattvaha. For the Vishuddha Sattvaha, for the person of a very, very clear mind, they become fact. Similarly, Kamyante Yascha Kaman, all the kamas that you desire, for the Vishuddha Sattva. Not literally, but it is as good as there. Why do you want all those experiences? Ananda, I'm already Ananda. Why do you want all those desires, desirable things? So I'll be happy. You're already Ananda. Literally, this is how it is. But he says, he's talking about Satya Sankalpa. Once you know the truth, there is something called Satya Sankalpa. What you really make a strong this thing and say, okay, let it be, it happens. So they say, okay. Tam tam loka jayate tamscha kaman. Tam tam lokam. All those experiences and those desirable things, jayate, are born for this guy. Tasmat atmajnam hi archet bhuti kamaha. Therefore, bhuti kamaha. Those guys sitting in the class saying, God, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. If your prayer is like the typical Bombay prayer, No, the typical Bombay prayer, no. Arey, Tata ne apyo, Birla ne apyo, Mane nati apyo. You're cribbing to God. You gave Tatas, you gave Birlas, you're not giving anything to me. Okay. If this is the type of people who are praying, he says, Archayet bhutik, Atmajnam. Atmajnam archayet bhuti kamaha. Go. Do some seva, worship the Atmajna, the one who knows himself. Why? Abhi daya aayega, bolinga tatastu, you will get it. Nothing. It's the punya of the seva that you get something, okay? Nothing else. Okay. And if you are someone like me, I won't allow any seva except my work-wise. Okay, help me with this project, help me with that project, no other. No, personal seva, Samjho. What personal seva? Some of you must be tired after walking all that thing. Tired? I just warmed up. What tired? Okay. The idea is go. See, what the Upanishad is tapping into the desire and says for your desire fulfillment, go. Work with these guys and do some seva, do some this. So that by the satsang of that person, your mind will be lifted somewhere higher. That's the idea. Your mind will be lifted higher. And because of that seva and all that you're doing, some things will come true also. Because you earned that punya and you want it badly enough. You're working towards it. You earned some punya of that work. Because the work is always something sacred. Why? You are not going to be an Atmajna and start an armament factory. I mean, nothing wrong. You have the freedom to do it. But that's not what you're going to do. You're going to do a project of reaching out to people. You're going to do a project of setting up somewhere where more people can learn. This is what you're going to do. So there is a sacredness about that work. So participation in that work gives you that, it's all part of reaching out work. So that is all Purti work. Every person is supposed to do Ishti and Purti. Ishti is Vedic worship, etc., or Pauranic worship. Purti is reaching out, seva, etc. Therefore, this is the Purti part of it. So even if he is not doing Ishti work, doesn't matter. Thoda Purti let him do. Then there is a temple in the ashram. Maharaji is going to the temple. ठीक है. Maybe जाएगा उनके साथ. If he is praying, maybe I should also throw some flower there. Not offer flowers, throw some flowers. Okay. ठीक है. थोड़ा कुछ होता है ना. It starts. How else do you think it starts? You think all of us started right from childhood with worship and everything? Not me. Not me. Forget offering flowers. I had not even thrown a flower. But when I heard Puja Swami, I said, wow, this is something I've been after. This is something I want. Therefore, whatever he said, I was ready to do. Yeah, whatever he said, I have to get this thing done. Swamiji, done, it'll be done. I was young, inexperienced. At 18, what a big experience you have. But I had volunteered in the war, so I knew how to get projects done. Take us on. I'll get it done. I'll find the people, this thing, and it will be done. God's grace will all work out. Yeah. That's the only worship I have done. All other things came much later. Yeah. So that helps. Whatever way you can do, it helps. It works. Yeah. Purti was there. Ishti was not there, but Purti was there. You think organizing a public talk or something, etc., is easy work? Right from raising funds onwards. Yeah. So all that. Then what happens? Your mind opens up. Your mind opens up to the understanding. Yeah. All that bhuti kama, etc., is left behind. Some things you get, some things you don't get. That's okay. That's all right. You are happy with what you got, and you are happy with what you didn't get also. Afterwards. When time comes and this is all that you want in life. Other things, you will take care of your priorities, etc. That. Yeah. And then go ahead. And before you know it, you got the truth. Before you know it, hey, I thought it'll take a lifetime. I really thought one lifetime may not be enough. The whole lifetime it will take. So I didn't want to start teaching, etc., until I had got it. So Rishikesh chalega, study more. Tap karo thoda. Do some tapas on the Ganges banks. Learn more. Acha hai. Bhiksha mein jao. Living in Rishikesh itself is a tapas, okay? Especially those days. Winter is freezing. Summer is so hot you can fry eggs on the roads. Rainy season, it's flooded out. Malarial right through. So just existing there is tapas. Swamiji, what about AC, fan? No AC. Fan is there, yeah, fan was there. In some of the rooms, there were fans. That when we made after 2-3 years there. But then what is the problem? Power goes off, summertime, not much, about 5-6 hours only. Peak use time, between 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock, in 5-6 hours it will go off. Living there is tapas. How do you survive there? You have a refrigerator now, go and dip in the Ganga. Ice bath and all, now it's big fad, after Wim Hof, having ice bath, etc. Yeah, go. Ganga Snanam is ice bath only. You survive. Yeah. And before you know it, hey, it's all clear. The life is ahead of you. What do you do? Well, my teacher told me, go confuse people. I'm good at that. That's something I enjoy doing. Chalo. और क्या बात है? Okay, with this Tritiya Mundaka Pratama Kanda comes to an end. Then the next Canto 2 of the third Mundaka starts, but that we will start next class. A good place to stop. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Swamiji.